Not color, it's culture, but they're cultural differences. I know, you know, we all know what it is with a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
God, we supposed to build, not destroy. We true and living. Don't add on to the genocide, G.O.D. Get back on your square. That's what I did. I found the niche.
Peace, family. How you all doing? My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Life, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be talking about or continuing the Mars through the sign series with Mars and Scorpio. I can talk about this all day. I know I say the same thing all the time. Here's the thing. Mars and Scorpio is a dope ass transit because it deals with energy. And I had a lot of really harsh squares to Scorpio for like a good 7 years in a row. I had a leech. I had a leech on my back and I didn't know how to get it out. No, no, I think they were like just lessons though, but I had a lot of learning through Scorpio. I went through my dark night of the soul, and I had to go through that in order to understand why it's so important that you got to keep certain people from a distance. And if there's anybody who knows that better than me, is a Mars in Scorpio. So now, obviously, this energy is super dark as well. I'll save that stuff for later, but it also, again, it really depends on where your Pluto is, what generation it's in, because technically Pluto is a generational planet, and so you got to know what years your Pluto generation is to know what other themes are going to come up for you, because generational planets, you typically don't feel them the way you do personal planets. The reason why this just so happens to show up quite strongly, and if you got like a Mars and Gemini or Cancer, you like somewhat psychotic, like you know but it depends on your placements and where you're at. So Mars in Scorpio is actually at home in Scorpio because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. And so it's pretty strong here, but you still got to have some other factors. It's got to be in the right house in order for you to show up on the more psycho side, I would say. But what is Mars? Mars is your drive, your passion, your sexual desires, how you achieve your goals. And Scorpio is very secretive. They're usually quite intense energetically, not something that they're trying to do intentionally. Again, they just know how to manipulate energy. And so I feel like oftentimes if you're in the presence of a Scorpio energy, it can be really intense because even again, whether they know it or not, they are constantly, they got like, this is how I view it. Don't laugh at me, guys. It's like they got energetic fields constantly working around them, protecting them because they are like, Mars and Scorpio person can spot this is my BS meter from like a mile away. Like you got to be in tune with your star player to know how to do that. Like you just got to know. And there are certain cues and things that you have to be able to look out for, but it's always happening internally. This is deep soul work. This is where you release all your traumas. This is the energy of the dark night of the soul. And so typically it's like being able to be alone with yourself, but also mastering how to be alone with yourself and comfortable with other people. That's probably a lesson Mars and Scorpio people have to learn in general. Is like just because you're good at being alone doesn't mean you're supposed to be alone, right? But In a sense, if you have this, technically you're meant to do a lot of soul searching, which requires a lot of alone time, right? Um, and I wish there was a word that I could use to help describe what that is really like. But the truth of the matter is it really is undescribable. You have to go down, I call it my Alice in Wonderland. You gotta go down the rabbit hole in order to really understand this energy. You gotta be woke, you gotta be into the occult, esoteric stuff. Again, even if a Scorpio doesn't know anything about those things and they can't intellectualize what that is, on some deeper level, they know. Energetically, it's just who they are, right? Very private. They can be obsessive with the things that they're into and the interests that they have, which again can make them come off very, I don't want to say awkward or weird, because I don't think either one of those words really describe what being obsessive is, but it's also something that what makes them really intense, right? And typically most people would argue that this is not conducive for relationship energy. However, say what you might, but Scorpio energy is a partnership sign. I think the problem is they don't conform. It's a fixed sign. And so the parts of the partnership energy for Scorpio on a mundane level is like joint finances and having the stick-to-itiveness. No matter what the fuck happens in your relationship, you're not going anywhere. You're going to know how to be alone together, know how to separate yourself from the one that you're with, and very healthy doses. I'm not talking about ghosting and kind of those lower vibrational things, but this is somebody who can understand and give somebody space when they need it and not take it personal, because 9 times out of 10 they probably don't want to be around you any fucking way, but not in a bad way, not like they don't want to. It's just like they need to, that's how you maintain living between both worlds. That you have to have a level of balance between being who you are separate from others, but also how do you control that being around others. Okay, I really can talk about this subject all day, so forgive me if I go off on a tangent. This video might be a tad bit long, but honestly, I think this energy is dope as fuck once you get to understand it. So from the Pluto aspect of Mars and Scorpio, it's the death of the ego, right? Again, this is somebody who doesn't take things personally, most likely can be in relationships that incorporate more than one person, because they have a massive amount of willpower when it comes to their sexual energy. This is semen retention here, ladies. We know if you know what I'm talking. Okay, I had a moment. These are people who don't have to, that you cannot force this person to have sex with you. I don't give a damn how bad they want you. They have willpower, god damn it. Like, ooh, they can hold out. Okay, but this is also somebody who knows the benefits, knowledge of semen retention, which can actually be very helpful in relationships when it comes to kind of knowing and understanding what it means to again, be separate and together at the same time. It really is a very talented skill, y'all. I am fascinated by it all. And then Scorpio rules the 8th house. This is death and rebirth. transformation, other people's money, other people's assets, inheritances, insurances, investments, debt, government money, big money. So these on a mundane level are like your bills, bill collectors, and all, like when I say government money, these could be loans, taxes, how do you say, welfare, those types of things there. This could also be scandals, secrets, anything hidden knowledge, occult, again, mysticism, astrology, all the divinations, astrology, numerology, palmistry, intuitive, psychics, all this stuff runs under here. Tantra for sure. Even the 50 Shades of Grey shit. What do you call it? I don't know why my brain just went blank, but these are people who are into domination and those kinds of things. Again, if you know anything about those things, I don't know much about it, but from my personal expression of being a dominatrix or somebody who just like really has again, they have real power, y'all. This is why they can do these dominatrix things where it's very directive. Even counseling, psychology, and psychologically from the Scorpio perspective, these are counselors who, if say you have a fear of water, they're going to take you to the water and challenge you to get in that water to get over your fear. It's very direct, intense, hands-on, with that kind of willpower energy, I really, it's energetically, you can't touch energy. So how do you really know? But yeah. And then on the opposite end of that, these can be people who this is all the sex scandals. I often think about R. Kelly when I think about Mars and Scorpio because of the way he was with those girls, and he had that all on video. It was all about power and control. And I know, trigger warning, okay, this stuff might not be for everybody, but these are the type of people who don't need physical sex. Like they can get off in various different ways, okay? That are related to having power and control over another, manipulation. That's why scandals are here, secrets are here, especially your dark secrets. These are the secrets that are buried so far down in your gut from your past lives that it's traumatic. And you could be reacting to things in your mundane life, everyday life, and it be something traumatic that happened to you that you don't remember, or it could be something that you do remember, but it was rape, somebody touched you, you were molested. These are all those kind of lower vibrational traumatic experiences of the I often relate this to foreigners too, or people from foreign countries, where they have to be sex slaves, or it's a part of their culture somehow. And it depends where, but we kind of see all these stories and hear about them on movies as if they're not real life, but those stories came from somewhere, which is also why this is hidden knowledge, occult mysticism. This is somebody who's going to watch a movie and be able to differentiate the movie storyline as opposed to this really happened, or how it relates to real life. And I can really get it. I could talk about this subject, but okay, this is your Kundalini energy. If you don't know what Kundalini is, you need to go research that. Okay. Mm. Yeah, these people keep secrets, not like that they are secretive, but they take things to their grave. These are people you can tell things and they'll take to their grave. They really value loyalty and secrecy here too. This is very important to them. If a Scorpio is sharing information with you about their personal life, they like you. That doesn't happen very often. Treasure that shit, because if it gets to a point where they feel like you're deceiving them, or you're being disloyal, you know, they got the Scorpion sting. This is somebody who is very patient. They will wait for you to forget and come back and stab you in your fucking back. Okay. um these are people that you don't want to mess with, right? Because they are fixed signs, they're not good debaters, negotiators, or compromising their beliefs and what they really want out of life, how they live their life, the things that they do in their life. So they're going to be very strategic in how they pick a partner, by way of those core facts are going to be important. Shut up and mind your business. Don't be spreading, you know, they're going to watch your mannerisms in order for you to get into this person's life well enough to get to a point of marriage or a relationship. And it might take a while. You might be with a Scorpio person and not, this is somebody who can be in a relationship and it be 22 years and you're not married yet. And again, it might not have anything to do with you. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just like, who wants to be a part of the system? They don't want to be a part of this fucking system. They're conspiracy theorists, like to the 10th power. Like, the fuck? They want to live off the grid. If they could live in a fucking farm on a faraway land with dirt, 10 miles of dirt road before you got to get to them, that would make them very happy. You know, and I might be being really dramatic about that example, but for the most part, their privacy is important. They don't want anything to do with this world because they understand it's fucking full of shit. For the most part, right? There's a lot of decoding that you have to do in order to be in this world. And with the shit that they know and understand, it's like, yeah, but it's my energy though. They might make decisions based on their intuition. Very magnetic. And you might attract sexual partners, but not necessarily be. You don't even have to look like somebody who exudes sex. You know what I mean? Like, sex doesn't, if this is my poker face, you know, this isn't somebody who's gonna look like sex. They're gonna look like they don't fucking play, right? You can't tell. Was that a smile or a smirk? You know, super mysterious that way, right? But you might attract a lot of sexual partners because that willpower is just the rock solid, firm, plantly on the ground. Like, it's very interesting. You draw out people's sexual energy out of them. This is like that kind of soul snatching sex, you know? It's like, you ever put the magnets together if they're like not compatible? Like, you make people want to like get it, come out, like, where you at? Jump on me or do something. You know, there's that kind of like energy that's just like, damn, are you gonna lay me down already? What are you doing? Give me that. I'm just saying. They get to know people through sex though. This is somebody who can have sex with you and learn everything they need to know about you, but they are masters at intimacy. That's what I think is the misconception right there, or what people sleep on about Scorpio energy. And anybody who has Mars and Scorpio, your goal is to master intimacy. Yeah. Because I feel like that's what somebody who's unable to have sex is. That's what intimacy is. I hope I'm making sense when I say that. You really got to do your own research and make sure that you understand what it is for yourself. But it's also like my way of saying you're not misunderstood. It's the definition of intimacy, somebody who can sustain from sex. You know, that's somebody who understands what building connection is all about, something we lack in this country tenfold, by the way. And so, you know, the importance of that is the energy of courting, the time that it takes to get to know somebody in a relationship, like all those core important things about partnerships that you have here with Mars and Scorpio, and that I genuinely value that as somebody who has a lot of fucking Mars in her chart. It's a lesson. Like I said, I had to go through this shit. I had to learn me some Scorpio lessons, y'all. And for a really long time, I would only attract Scorpio people. That's how I knew. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, it's something's happening here. But these people are very protective of their family and loved ones. And again, these are criminal activities. You're rapists. On the opposite end of that, you're undercover detectives. Somebody who goes so deep undercover that they can get lost in that lifestyle and become that lifestyle. Again, these people know how to master energy, right? They're going to do whatever they need to do to fit in, to get the culture, to understand the culture, who's the big person. They're going to be able to tell who's what on every level. This is also forensic psychologists. Again, because, you know, you specialize in decoding things. Yeah, and I can say so much more about that, but I feel like I talked enough. It's just important for me that y'all know this energy, because I think it's fucking dope. I think it's slept on. And you gotta get familiar. All right. As usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you're finding this information helpful. Peace.